So, you want to be a photographer? Do you? Really? Yeah, of course you do. Everybody wants to be able to take great pictures. Well, what do you need? Well, I don't know. Might want to start with maybe getting a camera. Alright, hey YouTube, how's it going? Chris here. And rumor has it you want to become a photographer, or maybe just want to take some pretty pictures. Well, pretty much anybody can take pictures, and it's not really that hard. But you might be asking yourself, what do I need? What kind of camera should I start with? What's everything I need to take good pictures? Well, good pictures is kind of a lame term because photography is subjective. What is a good picture to me might be different than what you consider a good picture. So it's just kind of what you're into, and if you think it's a great picture, then it's a great picture, and the only one you need to satisfy is yourself. And so, yeah, where do you get started? Well, first off, you need to have a camera, and if you don't have a camera, cell phones these days are pretty darn good. This one's an iPhone 10, I believe, and hell, I take pictures with it. I shoot video with it all the time when I don't have my cameras handy. And, so that's really all you need to get started, in photography is your cell phone. But, okay, so you don't want to use your cell phone. You want to get an actual camera. Okay, well, what kind of camera do you want to get? What kind of camera do you need? Well, you could start out with a point and shoot. They're generally pretty inexpensive. They do an okay job, especially if you're just starting out. I wouldn't go out and spend a bunch of money on something that you don't know if you're going to like. So you could start out with a point and shoot, and I've got one right here. I really don't know anything about it. It's a Canon PowerShot X40HS. This is my girlfriend's camera. And actually it does pretty good. It takes pretty good pictures. It's got digital zoom, and even if you want to do some videos, some vlogging, it's got the very sought after flippy screen, so this would be a good one to start out with. It's only 12 megapixels. I've seen them anywhere on eBay from $50. I don't know what you're going to get for $50. It's probably not going to work. But I've seen them from other websites that sell used gear, starting around 130ish or so. And yeah, this would be a good choice. It's got a hell of a. Ooh, I just took a picture. It's got a pretty good digital. Yeah, there it goes. Pretty good digital zoom. I don't know if you can see that, so but this is a point and shoot. This is pretty much an all-in-one. You can't change the lenses on it, but you can still take some pretty good images with it. You could even do video with it, and so yeah, this would be a good one to start out with. Again, to find a good used one, you're probably looking at about $150, and yeah, so if that's within your budget, I'd say go for something like this. Nikon makes their own version. This is an older version, so they've gotten much better since this one. I don't know when this one was new. Man, this thing zooms to 840 millimeters. That's crazy. Hell, none of my lenses for my DSLRs zoom out that much. But it has image stabilization, and it's got a built-in flash. I'm not quite sure how to get the flash to come up, but it has it. It's there somewhere. this little, oh, there it is. So yeah, anyways, that's the Canon PowerShot SX40HS. I really don't know much about it, but I know it takes pictures and it would be a good way for you to get started. Or you could jump up and go with something more along the lines of this. Now this camera here, this is the Canon Rp. It's quite a bit more advanced than the point and shoot. This is actually a mirrorless camera, and in my opinion, the Canon Rp is one of the best entry-level full-frame cameras on the market. And what I mean by full frame is it has a 35 millimeter equivalent sensor in it, which back in film days 35 millimeter was the standard film. So the great things about this camera is it has interchangeable lenses, so you know you can get different lenses for it. This one's a 50 millimeter 1.8, what they would call a nifty 50, I guess. And it's a great lens. This is a great camera. It also has the very sought after flippy screen for people that want to vlog or do videos. Like right now I've got my Canon 6D Mark II on the tripod. That's actually what I'm recording with, and I've got the flippy screen out so I can make sure my shot's framed up correctly and everything. But that's for video. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about photography. But if you're looking to dive head first in, I would recommend something like this. It doesn't have to be a Canon Rp. It could be a Nikon or any other brand that's out there. But this is a really good one for entry level. It'll run you about $1,000 without a lens. And then you'll purchase the lens separately. The 51.8 is about $199. It's a great combo, especially to get started. You'd really like this, and but I would suggest finding out if you actually like photography or not before spending that kind of money. But this is a great camera. This is a great camera to get started with. It'll do pretty much anything that you want it to do. Takes great images, and so yeah, that's the Canon Rp. That's for somebody that's a little bit more serious about photography. But yeah, so there's that. And so yeah, those are two examples there. One's a point and shoot, one's a mirrorless, but those are two fairly inexpensive examples. The camera I'm shooting on right now is a Canon 6D Mark II, and I've got a 24-70 2.8L lens on, which is a professional series lens from Canon. But that's the glass, or what they call, the lenses. You'll hear them say glass, upgrade your glass. Glass is more important than the body, and I have to agree with that. So yeah, if you're wanting to get into photography, look at those models. I also have another one. Give me one second, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So I just made a huge rookie mistake, and my battery died on my camera. Which yeah, you have extra batteries. Don't let that happen. Don't let your battery die. But I was going to get this guy here. This is a Canon Rebel T7. This was actually my first camera, and this is what I started out on, and I still use it today. It's a crop sensor, which means the sensor in it is much smaller. It's got a 1.6 millimeter crop factor, so that's for another video. But yeah, this is another great one to start with. I think I paid $650 or so for this camera, and it came with two lenses. Came with the 18-55 and a 75-300. But yeah, I started with this one. I absolutely loved this camera. I still do shoot with it every so often. I let my son use it. it's still a pretty good camera. So yeah, if you're looking to get into photography, this is also a good option that won't break the bank, and something you can grow with and hone your skills and um, learn a lot with. So with the cameras out of the way, what else might you need for doing photography? Well, you're going to need a memory card. These cameras all take SD cards. They're fairly inexpensive. I'd recommend buying one or two. Get as big as you can, that you can afford, which some people might disagree with that. And but just get what you can afford. It doesn't have to be a huge card. I recommend at least a 64 megabyte or 64 gigabyte card. Sorry. But yeah, so you'll need an SD card. I highly recommend buying at least one extra battery, especially if you go with something like the Canon Rp, because the battery life on this thing absolutely sucks. I mean, it's terrible. I could go on a 1 hour shoot, and if I'm shooting a lot of pictures in that hour, I can drain a battery really, really quick. So the batteries for the Canon Rp really suck. But yeah, definitely get an extra battery, regardless of what camera you have. But if it's the Rp, definitely spend some money and get an extra battery. So what else might you need? Well, if you're doing landscape photography, you might want to invest in a tripod. This one here is a Manfrotto. I want to say it was around 50 or 60 bucks. Not too terribly expensive. I really like this one. The only problem I have is this little wheel here. I don't know if it'll focus on. Yeah, so this little wheel right here that loosens the head. If you tighten it too much, it strips out. But overall, this is a great travel tripod. It works really well. I still use it quite a bit, but it folds out. These legs come out like this, and I don't know the exact specs on it, but if you're doing landscape photography, you'll definitely want some kind of tripod to put the camera on. It makes things a lot easier, keeps the camera still, and you don't get all shaky and stuff with it. So yeah, definitely recommend a tripod. And so okay, so yeah, we've got a camera, we've got a lens if you bought a DSLR or a mirrorless type camera. If you bought a point and shoot, you don't need a lens. It'll have one attached to it that you can't change out. You've got a memory card, and you've got a tripod. You are pretty much good to go. You might want to get a bag to carry it all in. You can get those fairly cheap. If you get the Canon T7 kit, or bundle rather, it comes with a bag, and it's a decent little bag. It carries everything in it. You have room for your memory cards and both lenses that it comes with, as well as the camera body. And there's no room for the tripod, but most camera bags don't have room for the tripod, but they'll have a little strap on the side that you can strap it to. But so yeah, those are the key things that you need to get started. And yeah, so the only thing else you need after that is something to shoot, and whether that be taking photographs of a person, your pets, maybe doing some car photography, landscape. I started out with landscape photography, and I absolutely still to this day, 3 years later, still love shooting photography. Shooting landscape photography. I don't do as much of it as I used to, more or less because I kind of got lazy. I used to get up every morning before the sun would rise and go out and get sunrise pictures. Same at night, when the sun goes down, I'd go get sunset pictures. And I live in a small town, so there's farmland and barns and corn cribs and all kinds of stuff around here that I really enjoyed shooting. But it really doesn't matter what your subject is, whether it's, you know, shooting old barns or a relative. But yeah, get those things, get you a camera. Like I said, it could be your phone, or it could be any one of these three, or, you know, any brand that you find a good deal on or can afford. Just go for it. Get you a camera, go out, start shooting, and just learn as much as you can about it and have fun with it. That's the most important thing. Just have fun, and, you know, don't get discouraged when you look at your pictures versus somebody that's been doing it for many years. You know, it takes time, but the more you do it, the better you get at it, and just have fun with it. And yeah, that's it. This was my video for today, and hopefully it helps some of you out. I really did this without planning anything. I just kind of got bored and decided I was gonna, you know, shoot this video. So yeah, if you want to be a photographer, those are the things you need. But really, all you need is your phone. So find something to shoot and get out there and do it. Have fun with it, and we'll see you in the next video.